The myth that is quietly destroying men's confidence and the surprising truth women actually want. Stop scrolling right now. You are about to discover the one secret that every man worries about. The secret that locker room jokes, endless memes, and Hollywood movies have lied to you about for decades. And why believing that lie is actively costing you confidence and connection today. For too long, the persistent, nagging question of men's health has been dominated by a simple, anxiety-inducing query. Does size really matter? You hear the whispers everywhere, from the late-night comedy circuit to the awkward, exaggerated banter in social circles, and most insidiously, through the relentless, unrealistic filters of social media. The internet is a hall of mirrors filled with bragging, complaints, and impossible exaggerations, creating a global noise that drowns out the quiet core worry of millions of men. Am I normal? Do I measure up? And what do women genuinely prioritize in intimacy? If you've ever found yourself asking these questions, comparing yourself, or letting that doubt creep into your self-esteem, you are not alone, but you are also closer than you think to the answer. The truth is far more comforting and remarkably more surprising than the cultural myth you've been fed. Stick with us, because in the next few minutes, we will not only separate scientific fact from popular fiction, but also expose the 5 common, everyday habits that quietly damage men's confidence and intimacy far more effectively than any number on a ruler ever could. You need to know this reality to protect your self-worth, restore your relationships, and step into the confidence you deserve. Don't miss this life-changing insight. Chapter 1. The pervasive myth and the science of satisfaction. The myth is simple, direct, and universally reinforced. Bigger is always better. Every movie stereotype, crude joke, and exaggerated story seems to reinforce this singular, demanding idea. However, when we move past the noise and look at what the scientific studies actually show, the narrative completely flips. Across multiple independent research analyses, when women are given the freedom to state their preferences privately, without social pressure or influence from unrealistic media, the overwhelming and consistent preference is for average size. That is the surprising truth, not the extremes, not the 12-inch fantasies, nor the exaggerated figures found in adult media, but simply average. This finding fundamentally changes the conversation, revealing that the goal of true intimacy is about comfort, connection, and deep-seated pleasure, not about maximizing inches or enduring discomfort. The most reassuring part of this data is that the vast majority of men already fall squarely into this preferred average range, meaning the fear that causes so much distress is often baseless and purely manufactured by cultural pressure. As a board-certified urologist and sexologist with over 7 years of dedicated experience helping men over 50 protect their confidence, improve their intimacy, and restore dignity in their health, I have personally seen this destructive fear hundreds of times. Men quietly walk into my clinic with the same core concern. Doctor, I'm worried I'm not enough. This fear is not confined to the bedroom. It's destructive, fracturing self-esteem, straining marriages, and even undermining career confidence. That's why the first step to reclaiming your confidence is understanding the real science. Once we've established the reassuring facts, we can then focus on the practical, actionable steps to replace the insecurity fostered by these myths with genuine, lasting confidence. Chapter 2. The 5 mistakes that erode confidence more than size. The real threats to men's confidence and intimacy are not biological. They are behavioral and emotional. They are the silent, pervasive mistakes men make daily that undermine their sense of self and their performance. We can categorize these into 5 major pitfalls, each of which must be addressed to foster authentic self-worth. Mistake number 1, believing unrealistic media myths. Biologically speaking, the average erect penis measures between 5 to 6 inches in length and approximately 4.5 to 5 inches in girth. This is the reality. Further studies of best-selling adult pleasure products overwhelmingly confirm that women purchase items that fall precisely within this average range. The problem arises when men emotionally compare themselves to the hypersexualized, often digitally enhanced, and exaggerated figures found in media and online content. This comparison creates a powerful and destructive internal cycle of anxiety and shame, even when a man's measurements are perfectly on target. Practically, the solution is to immediately stop comparing yourself to these unreal media narratives or anecdotal locker room exaggerations. You must internalize the fact that private, unpressured choices consistently reflect a reality that prioritizes average, not fantasy. Mistake number 2, ignoring comfort and the power of fit. The female body is beautifully and biologically designed for pleasure and comfort. When men focus excessively on size, they overlook the simple truth that excessive girth or length can often cause pain, not pleasure. Emotionally, women consistently place a far greater value on trust, safety, and emotional closeness in an intimate encounter than they do on a specific measurement. They are not looking for a performance, they are seeking a connection. Practically, this means focusing your energy on the variables that genuinely matter for mutual satisfaction: pacing, open communication, and positioning. These elements contribute infinitely more to a satisfying experience than attempting to gain an extra fraction of an inch. Mistake number 3, assuming all women share the same preference. Biologically, research shows subtle variations in preference, but even these are often mild. For example, some women who report achieving vaginal orgasms sometimes show a slight preference for a length slightly above the average, perhaps 6.5 inches. But again, this is a minor deviation, not a call for extremes. Emotionally, individual preferences are vast and unique. Some women may factor size into their preferences, but what is universally and fundamentally valued is confidence, intimacy, and open communication. Practically, the most transformative shift you can make is changing your internal question from "Am I enough?" to asking your partner, "What makes you feel most comfortable, connected, and seen?" This simple shift in focus can profoundly transform your intimate life. Mistake number 4, neglecting overall health and vitality. The ability to achieve and maintain a strong erection is far more dependent on overall physical health, specifically blood flow, hormone balance, and lifestyle choices, than on size. Dehydration, chronic stress, smoking, poor sleep quality, and a sedentary lifestyle are the true culprits that erode performance and confidence. Emotionally, a man who actively invests in his energy, his overall health, and his presence is fundamentally attractive, regardless of any physical measurements. Practically, you must take charge of the basics. Prioritize hydration, make exercise a routine, develop strategies for managing stress, and ensure quality sleep. Women consistently rank vitality, energy, and commitment to health far above any physical extreme. Mistake number 5, allowing insecurity to control the intimate moment. Biologically, the moment a man feels anxious, he activates his body's stress response, raising cortisol levels, potentially lowering testosterone, and most critically, diverting blood flow away from the penis. This physiological response leads to softer erections, reduced pleasure, and intense frustration. Emotionally, far too many men enter an intimate situation worrying about how big they are, rather than focusing on the connection with their partner. Women instinctively sense this anxiety, and it is a guaranteed intimacy killer. Practically, you must replace the comparison trap with active confidence. You are more than enough when you show up with present moment awareness, patience, and unwavering attentiveness. Chapter 3, The Path to Authentic Confidence. Gentlemen, I understand that this topic is loaded with emotion. Many men carry these insecurities from their teenage years, sometimes due to a careless comment or a silent worry fostered over a lifetime of relationships. But the ultimate truth is this: the science is solidly on your side. You are normal, you are enough, and you are entirely capable of deeply satisfying your partner, not because of a number, but because of the quality of your character and the depth of your connection. Here is what you can begin doing today to fully step into that confidence. Stop the comparison trap. Actively curate your media diet. Unfollow or block social media accounts that fuel unrealistic expectations and insecurity. Protect your mind as diligently as you protect your physical health. Learn the averages and own your reality. Internalize the scientific facts: 5 to 6 inches in length, 4.5 to 5 inches in girth. Understand that you are almost certainly within the preferred normal range. Shift focus to skills. Dedicate your energy to improving communication, enhancing foreplay, and building trust. These relational and physical skills consistently rank exponentially higher for women than size ever will. Invest in holistic health. Commit to strong circulation, excellent sleep hygiene, consistent hydration, and balanced hormone health. These factors matter more to your performance and confidence than an inch ever could. Practice confidence rituals. Before intimacy, take a deliberate deep breath. Consciously focus your entire attention on your partner and silently reinforce the mantra, I am present, I am connected, I am enough. Confidence does not come from chasing extremes. It emerges from understanding scientific reality, taking impeccable care of your body, and showing up in every situation with presence and respect. Remember that age is not the end of vitality. In fact, for many men, their 50s and 60s become their most sexually confident and fulfilling years, precisely because they finally let go of paralyzing comparison and fully step into genuine connection. Hold your head high. You do not need to measure up to myths. You only need to measure up to your best self, and that is more than enough. Your worth is not defined by inches. It is defined by the confidence, health, and love you bring into every relationship. The third fatal flaw is assuming all women want the same thing. Biologically, there are subtle individual variations. While some studies suggest women who report experiencing vaginal orgasms might show a mild preference for slightly above average length, we are still talking about the 6.5-inch mark, not the extremes that fuel insecurity. Emotionally and universally, while preferences are individual, what most women value above all is confidence, genuine intimacy, and clear communication. Practically, shift the focus from a panicked internal question of, am I enough? To asking your partner, what makes you feel most comfortable and connected? This simple shift in communication alone can be a profound transformation for intimacy. Next, we have the fourth major mistake, neglecting overall health. Biologically, a man's performance and vitality depend far more on robust blood flow, balanced hormones, and a healthy lifestyle than on any arbitrary measurement. Poor sleep, chronic dehydration, smoking, and unchecked stress are the true culprits that hurt confidence and performance. Emotionally, a man who consistently invests in his energy, his physical health, and his general presence simply feels more attractive regardless of his measurements. Practically, take charge of the foundational basics. Hydrate daily, exercise regularly, manage your stress, and prioritize sleep. Women consistently rank this kind of vitality and energy far above any physical extremes. Finally, the fifth mistake, which is arguably the most destructive, is letting insecurity control the bedroom. Biologically, anxiety is a physical enemy. It activates stress hormones, raises cortisol, lowers testosterone, and ultimately restricts blood flow, leading to softer erections, less pleasure, and deep frustration. Emotionally, far too many men enter intimacy worrying about how big they are instead of focusing entirely on the connection with their partner. Women inevitably sense that anxiety, and it instantly breaks the moment. Practically, you must replace comparison with rock-solid confidence. When you show up with full presence, patience, and unwavering attentiveness, you are already more than enough. So, what is your immediate action plan to finally shed this anxiety and build genuine, unshakable confidence starting today? First, you must stop the comparison trap by unfollowing social media accounts that fuel your insecurity and protecting your mind from toxic comparisons. Second, learn the averages: 5 to 6 inches in length, 4.5 to 5 inches in girth, and trust that science overwhelmingly says you are almost certainly right within the normal range. Third, shift your focus to skills. Communication, foreplay, and genuine trust consistently rank as the highest factors for women's satisfaction, far above size. Fourth, invest in health, knowing that strong circulation, good sleep, hydration, and hormone balance matter more than chasing an extra half inch. And finally, practice confidence rituals. Before intimacy, take a deep breath, focus entirely on your partner, and silently remind yourself, I am enough. Listen, I know this topic is loaded with heavy emotion. You may have carried these insecurities since you were a teenager, wounded by a cruel comment or a silent worry. But let me be crystal clear, the science is absolutely on your side. You are normal, you are enough, and you are profoundly capable of deeply satisfying your partner, not because of a number, but because of the man you are and the connection you bring. Gentlemen, confidence doesn't come from chasing unrealistic extremes. It comes from understanding reality, taking impeccable care of your body, and showing up with unwavering presence and respect. Hold your head high. You don't need to measure up to fictional myths. You need to measure up to the healthy, confident man you are, and that is more than enough. If you found this message reassuring and empowering, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend who desperately needs to hear the truth today. I'm Dr. Nora Hayes, reminding you that your worth is not defined by inches. It's defined by the confidence, health, and authentic love you bring into every single relationship. Stay strong, stay confident, and remember you are a man of profound worth.